Disaster declaration and is only eligible for economic injury disaster loans from the SBA. So economic injury disaster loans, they provide working capital for small businesses and private nonprofits that incurred financial losses due to a disaster declaration. Businesses are eligible for these loans regardless of whether they have suffered property damage. And the maximum business loan is $2 million. And businesses have low interest rates at 4% and nonprofits at 3.625%. So for Blanco County, economic injury disaster loans may be used to pay fixed debts, payroll. They couldn't make their mortgage, they lost their inventory. And sometimes businesses don't realize that they've had an economic impact until months later. There is no fee to apply. There's no interest for the first 12 months. There's no prepayment penalty. There's no need to wait for insurance. And there's no obligation to take the loan. You have up until 60 days to decline the loan, but we just say apply. My message here is that the SBA has customer service representatives that are available to help small businesses and nonprofits, faith-based organizations. And I am here to share that the application filing deadline for the economic injury disaster loans is not until April the 6th of 2026. So please know that the government shutdown does not affect the SBA disaster services. We are still here supporting our communities and processing disaster loan applications. And so my ask is that we respectfully request that Blanco County help share this information. I will follow up in writing, send electronic copies, but please share this information with your constituents on your website, in your newsletter, social media. Let us know if there are, please provide us a list if there are impacted businesses, nonprofits, faith organizations you would like me to contact. Invite us to business or community meetings, webinars, workshops, any festivals. We will be there, or community events. Finally, we are here to support you. You are important. And I not only represent the federal government, but I'm also a fellow Texan from Houston who's endured her fair share of storms. Please know that my heart is with you and I'm here to help. Thank you.
So hang on a second, people.
Pardon?
If you do you mind taking a question?
Yes, please.
So there's a couple of newspapers in Blanco County, in Blanco and Johnson City, and they monitor this. And you're probably going to be the first paragraph, so it gets out that way. And then secondly, we'll be asking staff to put this on our website.
Great.
Or whatever.
Thank you. That will be wonderful. And I'll follow up. I'll even include like social media graphics, and that will facilitate the ease of doing so. 5
years ago, the restaurants in Blanco and Johnson City suffered greatly economic harm, there was no
right.
physical damage. So my ears perked up when you said you don't have to have physical damage.
Exactly.
Probably don't want to go back 5 years, so.
No, it is during this period, but what's good about me being here and sharing this information is that, heaven forbid, in the future, if you have a more severe storm, then you will know there is outlined on this fact sheet, the business physical damage and the information that's available to homeowners and renters in the case of a more severe storm. So this is good information for you to know going forward.
As late as last week, I was under the impression that Governor Abbott's disaster declaration did not cover Blanco County. Does the president's?
No, you are on the presidential, this is the main
That's what I'm asking.
presidential disaster declaration, and Blanco is listed right here under the contiguous counties, but you are covered. There was a separate declaration for Kendall County and other counties that didn't receive as much help as Kerr County did. And they have now a rural declaration, but you are definitely covered, and that's why I'm here.
Well, the reason I think we were not covered with Governor Abbott's is because the storm or storms kind of split and went to our south and our north. Kerr County was devastated, and then Kendall and on, and San Saba, Llano, Burnett counties, Travis counties. But actually, as far as physical damage or.
Oh, for physical damage, no. You were not included for the physical damage, but Blanco County definitely was included, but only for economic injury. So no physical damage, but you did incur economic damage.
So what kind of injuries would a winery along the wine trail in Blanco County?
So let's just say they couldn't make payroll. They couldn't work. They suffered. They couldn't pay their accounts. They couldn't pay their bills. They couldn't pay their mortgage. And again, it wasn't just then, but maybe their profitability isn't as large now months later, and they're saying, you know, we didn't think we were hurt, but now we are. And this is the time, and that's why we're here.
One last question.
Yes.
Would that filter all the way down to somebody that just has a little bed and breakfast house? Because my understanding is that in this vicinity, vacancies are very high, tourism really down.
I would think so, as they are a small business.
Gentlemen,
Says here, the effects of wind and flooding that occurred July the 2nd through July the 18th. So
Yes.
that was
Yes, it's that
part of
window.
the time.
And so we ask if folks, just if they have information, they can log on to sba.gov/disaster or call us at 1-800-659-2955, and we are here to help.
thank you.
Thank you, dear.
Ms. Susan Ham has also filed a request for public comment. Ms. Ham, did you want to be part of item 5, or do you just want to speak now?
I would prefer to be part of item 5.
I think that's, I don't hear any objections, so I'm going to assume that's okay. Commissioners, moving to item 1 on your agenda, your consideration of the minutes.
I'd like to move that we accept the minutes for October 14th as presented.
Is there a second? Second. Commissioner, for discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, motion carries. Item 2, line item transfers, but there aren't any, so let's move to item 3. Bills.
I'd like to make a motion to ratify the bills in the amount of $22,342.65.
Is there a second?
And approve the amount, outstanding bills in the amount of $1,330,593.17.
I apologize.
Second.
Mr. Riley seconds both parts of that discussion. Does anyone know? Guess I'm gonna have to let it go, so I cannot find it. No further discussion, all in favor, say aye. And opposed, motion carries. Four. Is, Mr. Brock here?
Thank you, Judge Bray. Commissioners, appreciate y'all giving me the time to explain the pre-focus program. I'm retired, but got tired of sitting around, so I figured I'd volunteer some of my time. And one of the things I'm doing is presenting this reforestation program to governments and ranchers in the 7 counties around Travis County, which includes Blanco. And y'all have the sheet there, and we can go, you all go through it, but I'll just give you the highlights of the program. Essentially, tree folks will come out and plant up to 10 acres of trees on your property, essentially at no charge. It includes a whole variety of trees, upper story trees like oaks and cedar elms and so forth, and understory trees, and even grasses, because get the little seedlings going, they need some protection from shrubs and so forth. So that's part of what they plant too. One of the goals is to get reforested areas that are close to floodplains. Because one of the things that happens is, y'all know, a forest that's near a floodplain or near a creek or a river acts kind of like a sponge. It sucks up the water and prevents so much runoff. So it actually helps mitigate the damage of floods. So this program is, as I say, geared to governments and landowners, ranchers, so forth, who have some piece of their property that's close to a creek or a river. Doesn't have to be right on it, it could be close to it. But the value is they get trees planted. Now, it costs about $7,500 to $8,000 for them to send a crew out and to plant, pay for the seedlings and so forth. So they have to have some sort of agreement between the landowner and themselves that they're not gonna cut the trees down within about a 20-25 year period, because they need to let them grow. So commission, governments and so forth, just a letter of agreement or an intent to keep that property inviolate for those sort of purposes. So that's the essentials of the program. It's pretty simple, and it's they've planted about 5 million trees over the last 15 years through this program. And so it's successful, and I wanted to, what I'm doing right now is going out to counties around here and just letting people know about the existence of the program, because it's, not something that's well known.
Got a question for you. So on the maps that you provided, there's one emblem here in Blanco County. Do you have a project on your list in Blanco County?
Yes.
And that's the following picture directly below there, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I know that.
And do you tell me, is that on the Pedernales River, or is that on the Sandy Creek?
I will get that information for you, Commissioner. I noticed that when I printed out the packet there, and I went, oh, good, in Blanco, they got something going on. So what we'd like to do is, of course, increase that number, but let me find that out for you, because it's probably somebody here in the county.
Does it allow you to manage the invasive trees around them over the next 20?
I'm sorry, what's that?
Does it allow you to cut down and manage the invasive trees that might grow around these trees during that 26-year period? Or they grow off an area that
What kind of trees do you think?
cedar?
Cedar, yeah, sure, yeah, cedar's not one of the trees that we plant. But they will grow, but that's one of the things about getting that forest established. Is, the more it grows, the less the cedar is gonna be growing up in there, because you there's not enough light and there's not enough ground cover if it's filled with a forest. So it helps.
So for these purposes, this forum is a way of getting the word out in Blanco County.
Yeah.
We're here today.
Yeah.
And then, and reaching out to the commissioners who each have a quarter of the county and constituents and may even have ideas for where these projects might be good.
Mhm.
So, is there anything else we want to add to this? We're in two different river basins in Blanco. There's a divide, a geologic divide, and there's two river basins, so there's lots of floodplains at different times.
Yeah, I was looking at some floodplain maps just this morning along the Blanco River and the other rivers too. I hadn't looked at them, but yeah, there is floodplain. It's just part of the fact that it's been here so long. There's going to be a plain that's, in a lot of cases, you'll have empty areas close to a creek or close to a river, and those are ideal for this kind of program.
So what type of trees did you mention that Joe will be planting?
All kinds of oaks, cedar elm, sycamore, and then understory shrubs like some soapberry and other kinds of trees. But there's about 15 different species that we try to plant.
So if I'm not mistaken, the flood of 52 took out, the Pedernales used to have was full of pecan trees. That wouldn't be something that would be.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure. Native pecan.
native pecan trees.
Who gets to choose?
I'm sorry.
Who gets to choose?
Well, it's, you all do, the landowner. I mean, they don't select. In other words, we're not going to be planting a pecan orchard for somebody. But yeah, you work with tree folks. They said, well, the way the program works is you contact me or somebody on that list there and arrange a time for one of their arborists to come out and consult with you and figure out, is this going to work? Is this a good spot for it? And then you look at the kind of trees that are going to be planted and all that. Yeah.
Do you ever connect with the master gardeners groups?
Oh, yes. We work with the Audubon Society, Master Gardens, lots of different nonprofit groups that are, they're all trying to do the same thing, improve the environment. So
I mean, Blanco County has a pretty
good Master
I
Garden.
think so.
That's great. I'd like to know about that. I'd be glad to talk to them, give them a presentation.
Currently, you're right.
Oh, hi, y'all. Funny meeting you here.
So the last thing I have is, yes, that sounds great. However, we all know that the devastation that the large trees, whenever they come down during a flood, what they do to the infrastructure downstream is what we deal with, what we've dealt with in the past as well. So taking out bridges and things of that nature. So,
Yeah.
yes.
We won't pay for a bridge, but. All right. Thank y'all very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Item 5 on your agenda. Ms. Howell, Sanders with AgriLife. We each have something to say. So, flip coin, you're closer, you want to start?
Sure, yep. Good morning, I'm Gretchen Sanders, Blanco County Extension Agent, Family and Community Health.
So,
Go ahead.
I've got 2 papers there in your packet. The first gives some highlights about the Walk Across Texas History program that we did in the spring. And on the back, you've got details. We had 7 teams that participated with 40 adult participants. And we have 31 Blanco County employees that finished the program and were awarded 4 hours of annual leave. And I know they appreciate that, a boost to their health and a little time off too. So the results show that the average daily minutes increased by 20%. We also had a few people sign up for the Walk Across Texas program. Oh, I did want to say, in addition to Blanco County employees, we had the city of Johnson City also participate. So the mayor and some of the employees there also did it. The Walk Across Texas program, like I said, we had about 6 people that walked 1,000 miles, and that program really gives you a lot of economic impact on their health. So we have diabetes savings, cardiovascular disease savings, and the total economic impact for Blanco County was $31,499. We strive to offer education in Blanco County since it's a rural area, and AgriLife Learn provides childcare providers with childcare training, and they can take it on their own time as needed. We have 99 childcare providers complete 281 of those courses, and that was an increase of 183%. This helps them meet their state mandated training requirements. The other document that's in your packet is the state of health report for Blanco County that we create as AgriLife extension agents. Excuse me. This information comes from the census, the CDC, and the Department of State Health Services. And there's lots of numbers on the front that look sort of shocking. We've got 35% of our adults that are obese. We've got 18% of adults report frequent mental distress. But if you flip it over and compare it to the state of Texas numbers, we're in really good shape. We've got less cardiovascular death, less diabetes prevalence. We do need to work on adult smoking and excessive drinking. They're a little bit higher than the state average, but like I said, we're doing really good. Blanco County is a walkable area. We've got quite a few gyms in the county. We've got tracks that are open to the public from the public schools. So we're pretty active. So that's good. I did want to mention about our 4-H program. In the summer, we had a workshop series at the CRC, and we did 2 days of cooking, and we programmed toward our exhibit hall. This year, we're going to have a German baking category. So we made pretzels, and we tried to make things that, so they would learn something to have something to enter at the exhibit hall. We had 1 day of a sewing workshop with a sewing volunteer he's an engineer and a sewist. So we sewed 1 day, and then we also had a craft class, and we had about 14, an average of 14 at each class. And then a few weeks ago, we did a food truck favorites class, 3 days of cooking with our 4-Hers. That is the theme for the Texas 4-H Food and Nutrition Project this year. So we made Mexican street corn, and we made our own mayonnaise. So we made a healthy version of the street corn. And then we made sliders, and we made an Asian dish called pork satay. So they got a really good variety. And that's all I have.
Did secure the commitment from MSTD that your kitchen stays your kitchen.
Okay, wonderful. That's good news.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Wow.
Thank y'all for letting us come today. Just wanted to give a little recap on the agriculture and natural resources program here in Blanco County. As you know, ag and natural resources do play a big role in the county's economy. They're the way of life, and then also local landowners are facing some tough challenges, including invasive brush, feral hogs, and the ongoing drought. New development has also taken a toll on pastures and water resources, making it clear that sustainable land management is more important than ever. So I tried to do some programs this year to kind of highlight those. You have some documents in front of you that have my some nitty-gritty details on what all I did this year, but just trying to hit the highlights to save y'all some time, save me some time. I tried to host several programs for wildlife and range management. We sent a monthly newsletter out to some people who have agreed to be on that mailing list. Also submitted article or write-ups to the newspaper and hosted educational content on Facebook. We had a high percentage of participants increase their knowledge at these programs as resulted on the surveys. And they do also plan to implement practices that they learn. That data is on your document. I'm happy to answer any questions regarding that, but like I said, just trying to go through it to save some time. The Ag and Natural Resources Program reached approximately 8,500 contacts within the community. We also received generous sponsorships and collaborations from community partners. And moving on to horticulture in the county. Horticulture continues to play an important part in the county with strong interest in gardening, native plants, and pollinators. I'm going to highlight the Master Gardeners, although we did have more horticulture programs than just the Master Gardener program. But they do host several demonstration sites, one being here at the county annex. I don't know if y'all saw the butterflies when you came in this morning, but those plants are there from their hard work. It's nice to see the butterflies utilizing them. They also have the Johnson Settlement grass plots. It's public. If you want to walk through there one day and take a look at them, they have worked really hard getting those grasses put together in the plots there. We also hosted several workshops and participated in outreach efforts. We got really good survey feedback on the workshops that we did hold. Overall, we reached 6,400 contacts through outreach and workshops. And the Master Gardener specifically contributed a little over $48,000 worth of volunteer service to the county. They also were able to provide 2 scholarships to graduating seniors, and we hope to grow the group in January when we have our new class. And I know Susan wanted to talk a little bit, so I'm going to give her just a second.
My name is Susan Ham, and I am a Master Gardener. And Carly mentioned some of the hours that we've inputted. I wanted to speak specifically to our magazine that we've just put out, our book. This is the 2nd edition. We were able to go to a different publisher. We got it done just like we wanted this time. Gardeners like to be able to open up a book and let it be where you could see those pages, not flip around. A lot of our hours were spent on this. We did quite a bit of editing. We added some additions. Tommy Weir mentioned about invasives. There's a good section in here on invasion of grasses, as well as trees and other bushes and such. That is one of our big problems in this county. This was a grassland at one time, and a lot of the grasses that are now here are somewhat invasive. Same kind of grasses that are invasive, like Dallas grass for golf courses as well. We get something as well. But it's a book that really does an outstanding job of telling people what a wonderful place Blanco County is. We have a historical section to begin with, and then go through 5 goals that a person coming in and purchasing property, anywhere from just a property for a home, a property for trying to return some of the grasslands and the native trees, but there are 5 goals. And so someone, particularly someone moving here, or someone who's lived here for years, is not aware of some of the situations that we deal with here. It's called How to Grow More Than Rocks in Blanco County. And that's probably the first thing I noticed myself. We loved what we bought, but then I put a shovel in it and it wouldn't go. And so depending on what you want to grow, you might have to do raised bed. But the book picks up those 5 goals and then carries it through the book. And at the back of the book, it goes specifically of each 5 goals, how to achieve them. So it goes from small homeowners to large property as well. But it constantly mentions how beautiful the county is and how you can grow some things here. And it really emphasizes the natives. And so on the back, I have pictures that I've taken all around the county that we have some pretty nice colors in the fall as well. And for those of you back here, these are some of the colors that we have here in fall. And I want to mention, just briefly, this coming Saturday, the Methodist youth have a work day. And I get one team, and we're gonna go around town and do landscape maintenance, which will be all volunteer from these kids. We're gonna start with the sign on the south end. And, then if we have time, we're gonna go to the, chamber offices, maybe to the library, depends how much work I can get out of these kids. And we'll start, after they have their breakfast at 8, and we'll work till about noon, they'll get a break. Maybe we'll let them eat a little bit, then we'll put them back to work till about 2 or 3 in the afternoon. So they're gonna be doing a lot of projects around town, but, I'll be working with the landscape one. And I did like what you said about the planting of trees, once you mentioned our native trees. I will bring out the fact that down by the bridge going over the Pedernales, we have a lot of chinaberry trees. And those chinaberry trees are extremely invasive. And not only are they invasive in that regard, that they're not native here, but they change the soil. They make the soil more acidic. And therefore our native trees cannot come back and grow there as easily. And boy, do we have a bunch of those down there. And they propagate very, very quickly. Another point is we own property on the Pedernales, and all countries, as Judge Bray was mentioning, a lot of countries were taken out in 52. And we now have 7 countries on our property that have come back through the pecans coming down the river, and we have 7 on about 254 feet. So I think that's pretty good. So we are seeing some of this, but like where those chinaberry trees, that's not gonna happen. Probably, it's right next to where the county rodeo area is. That area looks pretty good. But there's probably some of the private property, but it's really a bad issue, and it'll get even worse as we go. I could loan you this to take a peek at by your city meeting or in a break or something. But we have spent tremendous hours on this, I can assure you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So, before you sit down, Ms. Ham.
What?
He's not done. He's the question.
Sorry.
Before you sit down, I need you to work with me here. I specifically am not asking how old you are. What I'm asking is, if you, and your husband David is here with you.
Yes.
And would you characterize yourselves as senior citizens, seasoned citizens?
Yes, so. Well, you probably knew the article that Carly did in the newspaper this last month. Told about when we first came here. It's a quick story, but we drove through this town when we did not live here. We did not have property. But the intersection, some things around town, we found distressing. And he said, well, you know, if we ever lived here, we'd fix this. And my husband said, I'll take care of that intersection. I said, well, that'd be great. Well, lo and behold, here we are. And he works about, I would say, 12 hours a week minimum on the intersection.
And that's really what I was bringing up. That's why I was bringing this up, because you two pretty much single-handedly handled the sign and the intersection by yourselves.
We get some support money from the Master Gardeners a little bit.
I'm talking about physical labor.
The city has offered to do some, but he's pretty protective of the area as well. So if you go down there and work with him, you have to do what he says. Now, me, I was not able to work the beds last year. I had a medical issue, but everything's fine now, and I'm really working hard to get that one back the way I'd like to see it.
Well, my whole point, and we'll let Carly finish up, my whole point was just to acknowledge you and David's service over the many, many years. here in Johnson City beautifying.
Well, thank you, and according to Gretchen over here, we get in a lot of physical labor. We don't walk, but we dig.
Moving on to our annual safety day. First and foremost, thank you so much for allowing our first responders to visit with the kids that day and bring the trucks. That was a really good hit. I think all the kids really enjoyed it. We did also give them a survey as well, and that was one of the biggest things on there that they enjoyed. So thank you for doing that. But just to recap, we had fifth grade classes from both school districts attend our annual safety day in May. They rotate through topics such as e-cigarette awareness, ATV safety, water safety, firearm safety. And then we also had our emergency personnel there to talk to them. The key learning points, according to their surveys, were also wearing protective clothing like long sleeve shirts, closed-toed shoes, and safety glasses, and to be more aware of their surroundings for potential risk. Just talking to a few of them and then looking at their surveys, it seemed like they the biggest thing that they got from it was just being aware, realizing, you know, there's a snake in the grass, or if I'm riding on a four-wheeler, I need to be wearing a helmet because that's safe. Just simple things like that, but I think it really clicked with them that day. We appreciate the support from the schools for allowing them to be bused in to the show barn. We also appreciate the show barn for letting us use it. Also our community just in general, and sponsors and the planning committee to help put that together. And then also for youth agriculture and natural resources programs, we did stock show showmanship clinics this year just to help them be prepared for our county and major shows. We started, we've had a livestock judging team, but we kind of got them back together and got them into some new contests this year, as well as shooting sports as well. They were a little bit, like I said, they were a little bit more active in contests this year. We had some high placings. We also had kids that just had fun, and that's really all that matters for that. We also received a couple of grants this year. One was to start a hatching in the classroom program, which we were able to do with 2 classes, one in Blanco and one in Johnson City. I think the kiddos had a lot of fun with that and got to see fresh baby chickens hatch. Overall, the youth A&R program reached about 7,800 youth and their families within the county. And then some general 4-H numbers. We had 167 members this year with 26 volunteers. We provided trainings for those volunteers. Like I said, we also received a couple of grants, another one being one to start a vet tech program, which we had a clinic a couple of weeks ago, and I think we had 10 kiddos at that, and we had a lot of fun that day. Shooting sports participated in new contests this year, also received generous donations for support. Our livestock exhibitors and the judging team both grew, and the food nutrition project continues to be the most popular, with the exhibit hall also growing each year as well. Some more information is on those documents. Like I said, just trying to save some time, but I'm happy to answer any questions that y'all have.
Questions?
Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Unless anybody object, we're gonna offer seats here at the bench for you two big guys.
There's a chain to hold you in place too.
One sit over here.
You're gonna visit your bench? Sorry, where do you want me to go?
Anywhere you can find a seat. You two.
That's okay.
We'll stay a while.
Item 6 on your agenda is Operation Green Light, which I think undertook either last year or the year before. It's when it started, and requesting a proclamation from the commission.
Move to approve the proclamation supporting Operation Green Light for veterans.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Commissioner Eager, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. The The next is simply a report. And publicizing that. As far as the two ESDs that are, and positions that are up in ESD two. There are two positions that are, being, that are up this year, if you will. And both, Commissioner Hendricks and Commissioner McCurdy have, expressed interest in being reappointed. There have not yet been any new applications. What's the deadline again?
The seventeenth,
November
I
17th.
believe it's 17th. Yes, we'll get to 17th.
And then on ESD one, Commissioner Rayburn is seeking, reappointment. Commissioner Fowler has not yet indicated anything, and Commissioner, McElhaney is not, seeking reappointment, and we have yet to have any other applications. So, the commissioners in the north are looking for applicants. You need to probably get the word out, and perhaps the newspaper will get the word out. That's all I have on that. Item 8 on your agenda is a liability insurance renewal form that needs signing.
Make a motion to authorize the county judge to sign the liability insurance renewal form for Texas Association of Counties for 26-27.
Is there a second?
I'm second.
Mr. Weir, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 9, is a Thomson Reuters contract that needs, it's actually a renewal, but it's the revision as well.
Move to authorize the county judge to sign a renewal contract with Thomson Reuters for West Proplex software for the offices of county judge and county attorney.
Is there a second? Second. Commissioner Eager, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Item 10, Verizon Wireless, we are asking for, to take 2 phones off of one contract and put them on a separate contract.
I move to authorize the county judge to enter into a contract with Verizon Wireless for the offices of Veteran Service and Maintenance County issued cell phones. This will remove these specific phones from the current LEC contract.
Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Riley, discussion. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, motion carries. Item 11. 3 additional, authorizing us to purchase 3 additional desktop phones for 3 additional desks.
I make a motion to the county judge to add 3 additional phones to the current Vested Networks contract for IT, county clerk, and probation departments.
Is there a second? Commissioner Eager, discussion.
Do I need to include in there to convert the South Annex from GBTC, adding the additional 12 phones? Into that motion.
You need to, if you are willing to.
I'm willing to.
Let's go second.
So the motion and the second are for both parts to add the phones and seek a new account. Anything else? Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. And opposed. Motion carries. Item 12, purchase of updated antivirus software.
Move to approve purchase of updated antivirus software from Blue Alley, pending county attorney approval.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Commissioner Weir. Discussion. Okay. This one budgeted, sorry. Anything else? Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Item 13. Cloud-based management system, no cost system.
I'll make a motion to authorize the IT administrator to activate a cloud-based management system to remotely manage updates.
Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Eager, discussion. Mr. Nagel.
Sir.
No cost systems just grabbed my attention. Why is it, how do we get something without having to pay for it?
They have a minimum of 200 endpoints before they start charging you. They're geared more towards larger enterprises other than us. So they want to get you in the door. And then assuming you have the multiple endpoints, then they start charging.
So they just wait for counties to grow?
And this will get you to more of a secure network, right?
That's correct, yes.
Anything else? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, motion carries. 14, I work with precinct 3 and
So, Mr. Nagel, you want to talk a little bit about this?
Sure.
You've talked with them on everything.
Yes, sir.
Is this the package that you prefer?
That would be the package that I think will meet both the roads and bridges and maintenance department's needs.
I'll make a motion to authorize the county judge and enter into contract with Iowa for precinct 3 commissioner and maintenance department as outlined in the budget.
is there a second? Second. Commissioner Eager, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, motion carries. Item 15, safety contract.
Move to approve the safety contract for the septic inspector as outlined in the fiscal year 25-26 budget, pending county attorney approvals.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Weir, discussion.
I have a question, Todd. So one of my requests was to be able to map, where's all the new septics coming?
Right.
Will we be able, the commissioners court be able to see, how where is the new development coming? Where are we growing?
Right. Through the septic, not specifically, which also is understandable in that a septic with a new development going in, a septic is a later step. However, with the 911 addressing, which is what they have to do first, all of that is mapped and we can generate that information of, hey, we've got 100 new homes going up here in or off of Old Marble Falls Road, which I know is one going in your area. It would be much easier and much more efficient to track that through addressing, which is the first step, versus the septic, which is a later done.
So I guess in my, and I know the judge receives a deal from the electric company saying that, we got 1,500 new meters this month in Blanco County.
Right.
But it really doesn't categorize where they're at, if I'm not mistaken, besides zip code.
Right.
But anyway, so that was,
It actually does give addresses,
does it?
but it was never 1,500, it was more like 5 or 6.
Well, yeah, I'm just, so I guess I'm just looking for more of a tool, I might need to change my thinking from working on this road to working on that road because of the growth. Sometimes when we get new subdivisions, they sit and people buy multiple lots, it's an investment, they hold it. And then they'll either sell it or, they'll build eventually, so it's kind of a slow process, so that's kind of where I was going with it, and that was my.
And that will be much simpler to track and much more efficient to track through addressing, because once those lots are sold and before they can do anything else, before they can get PEC, before they can get a septic, before they can start construction on anything, you have to have an address.
And most everybody else that's sitting in here knows this, but maybe the master gardener's got it. But not only are you overseeing the septic side of the department, you're also going to be on Ms. Strickland's retirement, overseeing the 911 addressing side as well.
Yeah.
So both of these are your wheelhouse.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's right.
And by the way, that makes me think that Ms. Fry years ago asked me to, and I routinely weekly share the PDC notification to her. It should be going to all of the commissioners as well. I think a lot of them needs to come to my office, and I can't send it to the board of you, but I bet I could get Ms. Harrison to send it out to you as an administrative matter. That way you should have been probably knowing this all along, so. And it doesn't tell you everything you want to know, because some of them are just wells and pastures or other things.
Yeah.
Or meters for even billboards, but you would know that better than me anyway, because it's in your precinct.
Doesn't the water district through permitting wells also have not an aerial, but a map that shows where these permits are going in, where you can you can see the wells around your property or wherever. That could be another form of data that might be able to be used for that.
There's a motion on the table and a second to approve the purchases. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. And opposed, motion carries. Item 16. Seems a little tricky. And I'm really glad that Chief Green is here, because I was hoping for his attendance. So in fact, Michael now, and Mr. Nagel may have to be involved as well, but the agenda item is to authorize the contract for us to buy and ship to M365, which is a more secure. I'm going to shortcut this and just help. Agree if you can't just say so, but it's a more secure version of Windows Office.
Right.
Okay, and if we wanted to, we could even go to something else that's another step above that, like 565 or something. But Mr. Nagel said 365 is probably all we need in Blanco County to be more secure. Does that sound right?
Yes, I agree.
Okay, and we went through the budgeting process and we put in there a budget for licenses to purchase these new licenses. Yes. Yeah. And originally, I think the thought was, in the very beginning, it was the LEC, the law enforcement center, what you all do, sensitive stuff. And it came to light that because the county is an enterprise and LEC is part of the county, that we can't do it that way under Microsoft's rules, that it has to be all or nothing. And you're shaking your head, yes. So
Yes,
so we have to buy the licenses for everybody, right?
my understanding, yes.
And we budgeted for that too.
Yes.
But what we don't have a budget for right now is the migration. And I think we have two different bids for the migration part of the services part of it. And I'm not sure how we're gonna pay for it.
So Chris, can you explain the differences in these two? Because there's one is NCE and the other one. It's Office 365 G3 or Microsoft 365 G3. What's the difference in these two?
You may have received a sheet that had the differences on them. I don't have it offhand. Primarily, oh, here we go, right here. This is what I was looking for. The sheet on page 1 through 3 of this sheet, everything highlighted in yellow would be the difference between Microsoft MS 365 versus O365.
Okay. But one of the, and I know I'm just looking at small things, but one of them is Teams meetings, right? So if we have the Microsoft 365, everybody has availability on Teams, which nowadays we do a lot of meetings on Teams.
That's correct.
Okay.
And that's what is that not what is the subject of this agenda item?
Teams?
Microsoft.
Microsoft.
Yes.
Right, so
Yes.
it's
All part of the package, yes, sir.
okay. How are we going to migrate? Let me say it another way. As you know, there was this conversation that people buy this from,
Okay.
and they discussed the process of migration, which is much different than somebody like me would think, where you just stick in a thumb drive and it happens, or you go to the cloud and it happens, or you flip a switch and it happens. It's apparently quite a process.
It is.
It reminded me of the process when discussing the idea of moving one of the clerk's offices or something from net data to Tyler Technologies is difficult.
It is gonna be very challenging.
Complicated,
Yes. There are a lot of steps involved.
and it costs money. I think the minimum was like $17,000, $20,000 somewhere in there. So. And we don't have that budgeted that I know
Question, could we use the money out of the contract, in your budget? We could use that money for that, to get this migration completed.
It's there.
I mean, it's a part of getting us to the next level.
That would be a line item change, I believe, from contract services. I don't know, I guess it would be the same.
It's a contract, we're contracted with them to do our migration, so it's just step one of the whole big process, in my.
I would be agreement with you.
So as you know, when you came on October 1st, I had written a memo to you that said priority number one, first possible. The most important thing is a backup. And I don't disagree with what you all are talking about, but it will, I don't see how that doesn't delay the backup.
It might delay the backup a little bit in finding a group that can accommodate under those, the pricing. It might take a little bit longer to find a group that is willing to come in for that.
Should we be thinking of it like we do when we hire an employee? If you hire an employee in November, that's only 10 months of the year you're having to pay, not 12.
Correct. That's what I would say. So if we delay it a
I'm
little
sorry,
bit.
it's 11.
So as we progress through the Office 365, those months obviously decrease and we're allotted a little bit more money in there.
But getting us to this point, hiring prescriptive to get us migrated over to the Microsoft 365. That way, when you do go out for that other backup, they know exactly where we're at, as opposed to we're here, we're about to change, and there's gonna be a whole lot of changes. So, that's kind of my thought process.
That's a very good point. That way we're.
I mean, here's where we're currently sitting, give us a price on what it's gonna take to give us a backup.
Yep.
So to recap, under the commissioner's scheme, we would have the money, budgeted to both purchase and install.
Can it all be done within this budget?
Could be.
Could be,
Like within 2 weeks or?
No.
Oh, come on, man.
all right.
No, this is.
How long does that migration gonna take?
Wait, do I remember during the conversation with the installer that they recommended waiting till after the first of the year for some reason?
For us, yes.
To start on.
I don't remember why, but
I don't recall that reasoning either, but I do recall them wanting to wait till after the year. And it might have been just for us.
It was due to the fact that there would probably be a number of people out on vacation, Thanksgiving and Christmas, and everybody would be back to work on the 1st.
Second.
Will it affect whole departments at a time? Will they?
No, it's gonna be-
function as this is going on?
It'll be an all-in-one. As soon as it happens, we'll start on, say, a Friday evening, and then come Monday morning, everything will have their
Everything will be up
transition.
and running great.
Yes.
I got you. I believe you.
anyone care to make a motion?
I make a motion to authorize the county judge to enter into a contract with Prescriptive Data Solutions for the AD and hosting migration of Microsoft 365 GCC tenant as outlined in the budget.
Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Weir, discussion?
Thank you, Chris.
Favor say aye. Opposed, motion carries. Item 17. So, you have chief, can I have you back? Yeah. Sit down, chief. This item is for 2 Tahoes. For your department.
Yes, sir.
And if I'm not mistaken, out of all the budget discussion, the long and arduous budget discussions over the summer, we came to the conclusion that the county do what they could on salaries and we'd use SB 22 money for items.
Yes, sir.
These two items are part of that, right?
Yes, sir, they are.
So, and they're gonna run, I forgot, what is it?
177.
177. And then the next, and the next one, unfortunately, that is not part of it, correct? It's part of the capital budget.
Correct, yes, sir.
So, and then, getting to item 19, the server for the camera system is part of it. That's the money, is it?
Yes, it is.
And it's gonna be about how much do you know?
That's right, I don't remember exactly the amount. Oh, it's a, to be attached to it, sorry.
So let's say it's around $8,575.
That sounds all right.
Miss Ellsbury, does that sound close? I saw Ms. Strickland shaking her head, so it must be. Right. All right, so now we've got 177 and eight something.
Yes, sir.
Anything else on the agenda that we think's going through Senate Bill 22 money?
Is today? No, I do not believe so. It's just the two Tahoes and the server.
Okay. So do you have thoughts on the rest of that money?
Well, there's lots of thoughts about how to spend the money, yes. Safety equipment mainly, some shields, some vests. Some intermediate impact weapons, items of that nature. Oh, yes, and some radars, the new patrol units.
So the